What's up, everybody? And today, this is not a Spirit Squad style video. Instead, what we are having is a much more serious talk with the Magic community at large. And to be honest with y'all, I got a fucking bone to pick. So, what we are looking at right now on the screen here is one of the new secret lair arts for a Commander and Legacy playable, Teferi's Protection. On here, we see that we've got a nice, really beautiful looking art with, well, Teferi and his little daughter, Niambi, and he's just doing your very stereotypical dad throws kid a little too high in the air. Almost every father and probably uncle everywhere does that. And a lot of people have decided that this, honestly, beautiful piece of artwork, like, I actually want this on a print so that I can hang it up somewhere in my apartment. Like, this is a beautiful piece of art. But a lot of people have decided that this needed to be taken into more of a negative zone. And instead of having the card just be a really nice looking piece of art that could be a desktop background or just a nice looking magic card or even, like, I don't know, a cover of one of those ultra pro binders or whatever. Instead, people have decided to take this in a completely different direction, and we've got things like the card fling going on there, which by itself doesn't look too bad on the surface because, okay, what dad doesn't throw their kid, right? So we see this, and this is on the Magic Judges Discord page where this screenshot came from. One of the judges actually did decide to go ahead and kind of out this thread because he saw it as problematic, and a lot of other people are as well. So, dad's throwing the kid, the card's called fling, you fling your kid, it makes sense, right? But the biggest problem with this is that fling is not the only card that people have altered Little Niambi onto. And this is going from cute and dad like to being very problematic very quickly. And it's honestly showing a lot of true colors of people in the Magic community. So we'll see that it only has laugh reacts. It's got 11 of them, as a matter of fact. But nothing about this is funny. No, a dad throwing their kid into the air. That's not hilarious. That's cute. So why is everybody doing laugh reacts? And we see somebody would buy it, which would make sense because it's cute. And 10 out of 10, again, it is cute. But that's not a reason to generate 11 laugh reacts and only laugh reacts, so why are they there? When we take a look at the other things being done with this artwork, we'll see why people are perceiving this as funny instead of seeing it as adorable or cute or loving or anything that a normal fatherly quality would show towards their own kid. What we got here is an unfortunate little compilation of things that people have done with this kid's artwork. So, like, Niambi bombardment. Well, okay, nothing about that is funny. This is just like somebody literally like flinging a tiny child as a mortar piece in war. Okay, so why is that here? We've got Niambi bombardment. So this is apparently supposed to be a play on Gaba bombardment, and it's not cute or funny. This is just, this kid is supposed to die. We have a fatal push doing the 300 Sparta kick, and now Niambi's being kicked off of the ledge. Okay, nothing about that is cute or funny. Bake into a pie. So now we have, a child literally being cooked into a pie. And again, nothing about this is cute or funny. And then we have Tevara's Crusade, which I think is the worst example of this. So not only is this child being strewn up on a torture device here, but also just all goblins are destroyed. Dehumanizing black people has been a very real problem for hundreds of years, especially in America. And equivalating us to goblins is basically going, you're less than human. And while, yeah, sure, that's the context that's on the card for the picture, so it looks like it could be seen as less than that. That is a very real problem that we've had to deal with for hundreds of years. And that is not something that people are taking lightly, or at least not the type of people, you would generally want to associate with on a day-to-day basis. There are people saying, oh, well, it's not that bad. it's not racist, it's just like a kid. But there are other children on Magic the Gathering cards, and this has never, ever been like a thing that people have just chosen to do. So we'll even see some examples that I've pulled up here. So we have like Blessed Spirits, where this is convenient. These children are already dead. They're literally spirits. So why is nobody putting them up on torture devices? Why is nobody kicking them off of ledges? Why is nobody depicting already dead children in death scenes? Next up, we have a card that is literally called Little Girl. And again, like, adorable little kid. She's got a toy with her, a bunch of balls around the room. Nobody is putting her in death scenes. Nobody is putting her in little, like, torture devices and thinking that it's funny and getting a bunch of laugh reacts on Discord. So what, of course, would be the difference between Little Girl and Niambi here? Well, unfortunately, we know the difference. Niambi is one of the first, highlight characters black child. And it's really sad that a lot of people are taking what is honestly just like a genuinely beautiful piece of artwork and putting it on cards like Fling, and then having not only players but also judges who are supposed to essentially be the game's police or the game's front-facing force, or even those who are supposed to just enforce the rules and make the environment friendly for everybody, thinking that stuff like this is funny instead of being something that needs to be taken seriously. And that's where we have a real bone to pick. That's where we have a real problem, because this is just not really something that we can tolerate. And we're going to go ahead and kind of get off of this and go back to the original Teferi's protection art, because you see how wholesome this is. You look at the little kid's smile. She's having a great time with her dad, right? Like, she's staring right at him. He's staring right at her. Nothing else in the world even could matter to either of them right in this moment. That is how a father's relationship with their child is supposed to be. It's supposed to be loving. It's supposed to be cute. It's supposed to be adorable. And to see that people are twisting this type of environment and taking it into something that is gruesome and awful and gory, and then covering it up with, oh, it's not that bad, that shows that, the community at large has a lot of very real problems to deal with. And these are just not being addressed by enough of, or even the right people. And we'll see that we have had Wizards of the Coast at least try to address some of these issues earlier on, where earlier this year, they decided to completely ban some cards from from Magic the Gathering competitive play. The biggest example is probably Invoke Prejudice, which is, I'm not even going to pull that one up. It's a card from like 1993 or 1994. The artist is a very well-known neo-Nazi. That's not an exaggeration. The person is a literal neo-Nazi who drew what looked like Ku Klux Klansmen on a Magic card. And that card stayed within the game, mostly buried because it saw no competitive play. But it stayed in the game for the better part of, 25 years, until it just finally got banned for its imagery earlier on this year. And also cards like Crusade, which were supposed to be representative of the Knights Templar. Again, that one did see competitive play back in the day. Not so much lately. But the card is quite literally a representation of white power. Its effect in game is simply adding power and toughness to all of your white creatures in play. Or rather, all white creatures in play, not just yours. But cards like that have been banned by Wizards of the Coast as a measure to just let people at large know that, hey, we understand that some things in our past have been problematic. But even that is more of like a half-assed attempt to, I guess, convince people that they're trying, more than really just putting a flat curbing on things like this. Things that Wizards of the Coast could be doing, of course, are just, being a lot more public about, hey, this is our stance on, underprivileged classes of people, be it people of color, be it women, be it people who are not straight, be it people who have a certain religion or following or credo, or however you want to call a belief system. I believe that they are not vocal enough about making it a fact that everyone should be welcomed into the Magic the Gathering community. And because things like this are not being enforced, things are not being put in place, things are not being said out loud, we have people who are just encouraging things like taking a picture like the one we're looking at and putting it in, very, very dangerous, very racist situations. And that's just something that is not, we really can't stand for this anymore. This is not something we can put up with. This is something we can do. So what I am asking everybody who is watching this to do is just what you can. So if you see anybody that you know or you interact with having this type of behavior, call them out on it. Let them know, hey, you are being a terrible person. I cannot deal with you anymore. Like, if they need to be disallowed from a store you own, do that. If they need to be barred from your gameplay group to let them know that you are not accepting of their behavior, do that. But what we cannot do is simply sit here and allow people to get their like reactions and laugh reactions and think that this is something that's funny and can be continued, because that is the trend right now. And this is a lot of why Magic the Gathering, honestly, just is not recognized as a real esport like League of Legends and like Overwatch were. This is why Magic the Gathering is not invited to big name, like, say, TV events. Like, specifically ESPN was something different, but a game with as many players as Magic that is not televised, that's a borderline crime for as big a game as Magic is. But honestly, the Magic community is a large part of why things like TV stations don't want any part of Magic the Gathering. People like this are actively hurting the game we're playing and making it so that this game does not have the ability to grow. And unless we stop this, people like this are going to kill the game's reputation and eventually the game itself. So I'm not sorry for saying any of that, but that is what I feel, and that is what I perceive to be the truth. So leave a comment down below. Let me know exactly what you think, negative, positive, however, and I hope you can honestly get better at this.